Our habits contribute to many things and can shape who we are. I'm sure we can admit that making the transition from breaking an old habit to forming new positive ones isn't always easy and can take a while. Habits shape our attitudes, actions, and decision-making abilities, which affects every aspect of our lives. That's why today we're discussing building positive habits. Hello all, welcome back to Thoughtful Thursdays. I am Johannes, your on-site life coach. October is Breast Cancer and Domestic Violence Awareness Month. One of the best ways to embrace survivorship while also observing breast cancer and domestic violence awareness is through the habits we build. Here are ways of building positive habits. One way of building positive habits is by understanding how habits are formed. Habit formation is the process by which behaviors become automatic. Habits can form without a person intending to acquire them, but they can also be deliberately cultivated or eliminated to better suit one's personal goals. Habits are built through learning and repetition. A person is thought to develop a habit in the course of pursuing goals, such as driving to a destination or satisfying an appetite, by beginning to associate certain cues with behavioral responses that help meet the goal. Over time, thoughts of the behavior and ultimately the behavior itself are likely to be triggered by the cues. People develop countless habits as they navigate their daily living activities, whether they are aware of them or not. That's why it's important we develop good habits at CTA when going through the initial process of training or developing new ones when new procedures have been put in place. Habits can become deeply ingrained in our brains, which means that even if a particular habit creates more problems than it solves, it can be difficult to break. Understanding how habits take shape to begin with may be helpful in dismantling and replacing them. Another way of building positive habits is by identifying the triggers. A trigger is an event that kicks off the automatic urge to complete a habit. Triggers are key to forming new habits and breaking old ones. Triggers can make the habit action. A trigger can be anything in our environment, which our brains associate with a habit. These contextual factors, such as where we are, who we are with, and what just happened, have a powerful and invisible effect upon our behavior. Each time a trigger precedes a habit, our brains strengthen the association between a habit and its trigger. As an association between a habit and a trigger increases, the habit becomes more and more ingrained until we can perform our habits in autopilot. An understanding of triggers is essential for an ability to break old habits. Our old habits are constantly being reinforced by their triggers. We tend to repeat what we previously did in a similar situation. Another way of building positive habits is by employing strategies to disrupt and replace them. To build positive habits, it's important we make our cues obvious. To break ineffective habits, it's a good idea to put those cues out of sight and mind. For example, if we want to become the kind of people who study effectively, we might place our books, notes, and other study materials where we will see them and set a time in our schedules to study. If we get easily distracted, we want to put our phones and other tempting diversions away when it's time to study. Additionally, habits can be viewed as positive and easier to maintain when we make them fun. That might mean turning on soothing music when we're studying or exercising. Another may be turning household chores into a family competition. Whoever wins gets to choose what we have for dinner that evening. Keeping positive habits convenient and making ineffective habits difficult are crucial for changing our behavior for the better. Building positive habits is a journey that requires self-awareness, strategic planning, and persistent effort. This can be a challenging process, but with the right approach, it's entirely achievable. Habit building is a process of trial and error, success and adaptation. So when new habits seem to take or don't serve us, it's important to adjust or replace them so that we continue to move toward who we want to become. Thanks for tuning in. Please like, subscribe, and comment on our video. We'll see you next time.